On this episode of Close Up, I got to hang out with Nyla Rose. We all know about her antics online, and that was just something that I wanted to bring to life here on camera for you people. So here she is, charming as ever. Nyla Rose, the native beast. Talk to me about your deep fried hot dog.
What an opener. What an opener.
I mean, if there's anything to kick off a conversation, it's whatever it is that you were up to at home that led to doing this. Because I know frying something at home is a bitch to begin with. There's oil everywhere. It's a mess. And you were getting experimental in the kitchen.
I was getting experimental in the kitchen. One of my absolute favorite things to do. I love to cook, but like I'm not a cook.
I know how that goes.
I love to just play in the kitchen. Like if I get an idea, I have what I call my mouth mind.
What the?
I have what I call my mouth mind. So like if I taste something, like immediately there's a thought process behind it. Like it's almost like the intro to Big Bang Theory. Like I taste it, it zooms out on the galaxy, and I'm like, okay, there's a little bit of savory, a little bit of heat. Oh, that would go good with like chicken, but not just any chicken, you know? And it's like a thought process behind the taste of food or something. And I had a thought process, and I was like, you deep fry corn dogs, but it's like in a very specific batter. I've never seen like a fried hot dog.
Deep fried hot dog. How did you keep it all in place?
Luck. Luck. I did an egg wash, and then I put the my special seasonings and batter on it. And then I put it in the oil. I lowered it very slowly. That might have been the key.
Well, you have to, otherwise you risk death.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. But that might have been the key, is lowering it slowly into the oil. Let it fry up, get there. So here's the trick, right?
Okay.
It was a double fried hot dog.
Oh, see, that's how you get the real crisp.
That's how you get the real
crisp.
crisp.
Let it cool down, you get a good fry. You can't do fries without, especially at home, without the double frying.
Absolutely. Dip it. I gave it a little bit of time, rotated it, pulled it out, let the grease settle, egg wash, roll it. We're off to the fryer again.
So did you top it when you pulled it out? Did you ketchup and mustard it, or you that was it?
Not at first.
Okay.
Not at first. Anytime I eat anything, I want to taste the base flavors.
Fair.
So we went base, and it was very good. I'm not gonna lie. It was like if you had a hot dog, like a good hot dog, topped with like fried chicken skin. It had no business being as good as it was.
I would say, I think a hot dog might be in my top 5 favorite foods. Like I with a hot dog.
Right?
I love
the American taco.
Yeah.
It's like it's perfect food delivery system.
Where's the best hot dog you've ever had? Do you have like a?
I'm ashamed to say it out loud. Okay. A gas station.
Yes. Great.
Gas station hot dogs are great.
Yes.
Circle
better than
K.
gas station sushi.
Way better.
You know what you're getting with a hot dog.
Circle K had a cheddar and jalapeno hot dog. Chef's kiss.
Love it. Love it, love it. This is a side note that probably won't make the cut of this, but I was reading something recently that if you look at an object and think about what it tastes like, you can imagine what it would taste like. Like anything, like to be like, oh, what does like that t-shirt taste like? You can like look at it and think of what it would taste like in your tongue. Try it. Everybody try it.
I've been doing it since you
Isn't
said
it
it,
weird?
and you are not wrong.
I read it and I was like,
like
oh
I
my
looked
God,
at his socks
like,
and I'm
know
like,
what this wood
I
was.
know what sock, like.
No. Yes, I know. It's freaky.
That's a little crazy. And it's one of those things like you don't think about, like you can always see your nose.
Yes.
But you don't think about it. And now that I've said it, everyone's like, my nose. But like, yeah, that's crazy.
Anyways, this interview is going off the rails.
Was it ever on the rails?
It was never on the rails. We started with the hot dog. Okay, so first things first, post hot dog. Do you feel like you are perhaps miscast? That we need to have this like baby face run of Nyla. You bring so much to the table, obviously, in terms of like your personality, and you've got all these different layers to you. Do you think that that is a thing that we need to have in the wrestling world?
So the short answer is yes. But I don't think I've been miscast per se. When AEW first started, you know, we needed someone like me, the big meanie. But
I mean, you're a great asshole, no doubt. But there's some
natural.
charm there. Yeah.
But characters evolve over time, and I think we are at that point now. If anything, I would say missed opportunities.
Okay.
I think, and I'm sure a lot of fans agree, I see the tweet, and the fans have been wanting this for a while, and we try to get things going into that direction, but for one reason or another, there was always like a detour.
Right.
So things got a little delayed, but I think we're on that track now.
Yeah.
I wish we could have done it a little sooner. I had some antics and ideas to go along with, but
We can go
we're
back
there
to
now.
them. Go back to
we
the well.
absolutely
dip
can go
back
back to
in.
them.
I feel like that's just something that people need to see. I mean, obviously we get like a taste of it through your social media and like different posts and stuff that you do, but like just like when you walk into like the makeup room, it's like the vibe changes, you know, some like shenanigans are gonna go down, or like same with the locker room. Like there's always just like so much fun energy around you. So I feel like bringing that into the ring is something that
Thank
we
you.
all demand it.
I try, and that's what I'm striving for now. That's
Yeah.
my new goal and path.
Great, I love it. What else is on that path? What are other things that that you want to check off the box when it comes to pro wrestling?
Oh, so much, so much. On the broad spectrum, I would love to hold gold in Japan.
Oh, hell yeah.
I've had a few title matches.
Yeah.
By few, I think I mean 2, but I've never attained.
Okay.
So to actually hold gold in Japan would that would mean a lot to me. For a multitude of reasons. I feel I owe a lot of my career to Japan. I don't think I would be where I am with AEW and in AEW if it weren't for my time in Japan.
Yeah.
And then a little bit closer to home, I would love to be the first, I guess Grand Slam champion. I would love to properly hold the TBS championship.
Yes.
No
Yeah.
slight to Mercedes Moné,
Yeah.
like no slight to her.
And we'll all do the dance. Take that, Will Ospreay.
Eventually.
Yes. No, I think like absolutely those things need to happen. Why do you think, or why is it that going to Japan really helps to curate somebody's career and get them in the right path and set you up for the success that you've been able to have?
I could be absolutely wrong. Please don't quote me on this, but I think it has to do with the culture of respect towards pro wrestling in Japan. Over there in Japan and in Mexico, pro wrestling's on the same level as like baseball or like football is here.
Yeah.
So it's just held in higher regard. So with that, you're constantly working. We lived in the dojo, like having a wrestling ring a few feet from where you sleep.
Yeah.
Kind of a game changer.
Yeah.
Anybody out there that's a wrestler or thought of wrestling or dabbled in wrestling, I can assure you, you've laid in bed at night and you've thought of something you might have seen in a movie or a television, heck, even a cartoon. You might have thought of that and be like, oh, that would be a great wrestling move.
Right.
It's a little dangerous in the fact that you can get up and run to the ring and go see if it actually is going to translate well.
Wait, is that a thing that happens? You're like in there and you're like, somebody roll in there with me. I got to try something right now.
It was usually me with the invisible man.
Okay.
But like if somebody was up, I would like, hey, Mio, come here.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. We're in Fairfax, Virginia right now, which is essentially hometown to you.
Backyard.
What kind of feelings come up when you think about growing up around here, getting into your wrestling career, like all the things that kind of happen to now having AEW here putting on shows? Does that conjure up some feelings for you?
The petty spite in me is just loving making everybody eat their words. I heard a lot of no's for a lot of different reasons. Like, you're not going to make it. That's dumb. Like, pick something else.
Yeah.
So to kind of be here is very much nanny, boo-boo.
Fair enough. Are you going to have family at the show?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's coming.
Yeah.
The whole 703, whoop, whoop. Like, everybody's coming.
Are your kids coming?
Kids are coming. Mom is coming.
Yeah.
When I say everybody, I mean everybody.
What is your kids' take on being able to see what you do in the ring? And like, what do they think of your career?
They don't care. They're kids. They're kids, especially my young one. No, I say they don't care, but they do. They do. They get excited, but, it's like, oh, yeah, that's Mom, but like, Jericho, it's Evil Uno, like everybody else. And it's like, you guys, I wrestled too.
I mean, how do you balance being on the road and getting back home and getting into like regular life things. I mean, I still feel like I'm trying to like find my stride with that. When it's like you land, you get home, you're doing mom things. Like, how do you balance that?
Listen, when I figure it out, I will text you. I will let you know.
Let a girl know.
I don't know that there is a balance. I've got a young guy. He's 6 years old. So I come home and I'm immediately catching topes from the top of the stairs. Like the second I walk in the door, you know, my dogs are jumping on me. They're hitting shoulder tackles.
Oh, yes.
So you just kind of do it. You just kind of jump in the deep end.
You function on little sleep. What's your like littlest amount of sleep that you're good at functioning on?
None.
That'll do it.
The lowest amount of sleep I say is none.
That will do it. That will do it. Talk to me about your love of anime and how that kind of bleeds into wrestling for you.
Oh, I just love it as a art medium. Everybody feels intimidated getting into anime if they've not done so.
Right.
Like there's so many things. Like where do I start with? Like, well, where do you start with?
Well, wrestling's like that too.
Wrestling
it's like you find a thing.
Wrestling is
like,
anime.
Okay.
Wrestling is anime.
Okay.
Think about it.
Or is anime wrestling?
Whoa. Yin yang. It's the yin yang
Right.
of things.
Right.
Double-edged
Right.
sword. You just jump in. Where do you start with any television show? Right.
Sure. That's been up and running for so long. It's like, where do you start? Yeah.
So my take on that, I feel that we as humans love to categorize everything and put everything into neat little boxes. So I think when you think of a television show, you're like TV shows, and there's this broad thing, but like within that, you've got like sci-fi, period piece, kids shows, cartoons. So you've got like all these other things, and it's easier to lump that in.
Yeah.
But then you say anime, and then it's just like kind of overwhelming because everything is in that.
Right.
Well, no, that breaks down very much the same as regular television shows. There's something out there for everyone, just like wrestling.
Yeah, because it's not like if you're like, oh, like I've stumbled on Seinfeld and I'll just go back to the beginning and watch it. There's no like beginning of anime or like the beginning of professional
you just
wrestling. It's
jump
all these
in.
different prongs
You
that
just
does
jump
make it
in.
a little overwhelming. You find the one thing that you love and then work your way backwards.
There you go.
I guess.
Yeah,
Does that make
kinda.
sense?
That's
Solved
what I
it.
did. It's worked for me.
Solved it. Okay, so it is Pride Month, of course. How do you feel like storytelling has evolved in the right or wrong, however you interpret it, in professional wrestling for LGBTQ storylines?
I feel
characters.
it evolved very well. It took a little while to get here.
Yeah.
But it's and this is just my opinion. I feel it evolved very well in the sense that it's no longer necessarily the focal length,
Right.
right? Like look at Anthony Bowens. Look at myself.
Yep.
You know, and
Yeah, because it's like it's not your character. It's not a part. You don't lead with it.
right.
Right.
I don't win matches with it, so why would I?
Right.
It doesn't have to be a focal point. It's a trait that I possess as a person, as a character, but it has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
It could,
Right.
you know, it could if that's a story beat that we wanted to address. But at this point, the way social media ties in to our lives, to professional wrestling,
Yeah.
if you want to know those things, you can absolutely check in on there.
Sure. Is that something that you would want to have be in storylines in the future? Is that something that you would ever want to like dabble into if it made sense?
I don't necessarily think it's anything I want to dabble in, but I'm absolutely on board with and not afraid if it naturally comes up.
Right.
If that's the natural progression of things, if that's where we go, sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about what happened with Oklahoma. This wasn't all that long ago with them putting out this warning to AEW after you had performed in a match wherever we were in Oklahoma. Talk to me about just like that coming out in the news, but then also the reaction to everybody else on the other side of that.
Oh, man, where do we even start with that? It's such a crazy, crazy situation. It definitely caught me blindsided. I had no idea any of that was going on.
So it came out like several weeks after we had been
Several
there,
weeks
right?
after we had been there. But like kudos to our company and to our team who was like the ozone layer, like up there protecting
Yeah.
me and I guess us from it. But like I had no idea that was even going on. They're like, hey, something's coming out. You should be aware of this. So like,
Oh, so you did know before it like hit like news.
right before,
Okay.
only because it was going to hit the news. But our team was up there like defending and protecting is what I'm saying. And then it was
Yeah.
like, hey, okay, listen, we got to rope you in. this is what's been going on. This is what we've been dealing with.
Yeah. It's like you look at it and you're like, what are we doing here? What are we, like, come on.
Yeah.
But then the reaction from everybody else. I mean, obviously, so many
Yes.
people came to your defense. I mean, not only from the locker room, but from Tony Khan himself saying that he
Yes.
stands by
Yes.
you. How did that make you feel to know that everybody, of course, had your back in such a ridiculous situation?
I was frustrated because it forced me to turn baby.
Which is what we all want.
I had some very
anyways.
evil plans on the table, and everybody was so nice and loving and accepting and supportive that, like, I had no choice.
How dare you?
I had no choice. So the evil cloak has been put away for a while. I owe you guys because you were so good to me.
Now we get that baby face run that we've all
I
been
told you
clamoring
they
for.
wanted it. They made it happen. Everybody demanded. They're like, now it's gonna be baby face.
We got you. It's happening. It's happening. Okay, we were talking before about posting things on Instagram. You are great at posting a great sexy photo. I am not. Walk me through the process of putting together a sexy photo and then pressing post. Because it stresses me out. What?
Still, I will look at other people's sexy posts and I just copy what they do.
That's the move. See, that's the move.
See, I'll scroll and, like, I follow certain people for a reason. It's called marketing. There's the crossover. So I just kind of copy what they do.
Yeah.
I look at it, like, oh, that got how many likes and let me turn a little bit this way.
Do you ever get, like, I guess, like, post hangover or, like, the aftermath of that? Because I feel like if I ever post something that I feel like is, like, remotely that I'm like, ooh, was that? I don't know. I always feel like so weird doing it. Do you ever have that feeling? Or do you just put your phone down and go, it's out there? I'm a little bitch, by the way.
I kind of can't put my phone down, and to other people, to the outside looking in, it probably looks like I'm obsessed with myself or, like, doing this. But really, I'm like, has anybody said anything outrageously out of pocket that I need to keep? And it's not for me.
Yeah, do you have to sift through the comments and stuff like that to, like...
It's not for me. I'm a duck. That water rolls right off my back. I don't care. It's how it might affect other people that I don't want certain comments to be up there. Because even collateral damage, right?
Sure.
Like, even though I'm the target, if it hits me, some shrapnel might hit somebody else. I don't want that to happen. So for those comments is what I'm looking out for. So after, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes, if there's nothing, I'm like, okay, there probably won't be anything, at least anytime soon. And then it's a little easier to kind of monitor it because you get the notification and everything.
Well, it's always kind of that scary feeling if you open up and you're like, oh, there's 200 comments on here. Then you know someone said something up and there's like a whole conversation that's going on there. Oh, no. Now I got to go through a monitor. I had the comments turned off my Instagram for years because I would just, like, it was just a lot to, like, to sift through some of that stuff and trying to delete the things. And, like, I would see, like, my mom was commenting back to people and, like, oh my God, trying to, like, shut the whole thing. No. I'm like, thank you, Mom. And as a mother, I get it. You want to, like, shut anyone down that's talking about your kid. But yeah, it's a whole ordeal. It's exhausting.
See, I keep them on because I'm a Leo and I want you guys to love me.
Which we do. We do. We all do. We do. Well, listen, thank you so much for sitting down here with me in this beautiful space.
Yes.
We don't do this often.
I feel
this
connected
to you
because, like, last time we sat so far away. But it was audio.
Yes, yeah. But thank you for hanging out with me.
Yes.
Looking forward to more Babyface Nyla.
I'm looking forward to some really good fucking cake.
More on that later.
What do your nails say?
Serpentico sucks. Yes.
Yeah, wait. What is, like, the beginning of the feud with Serpentico?
He was born.
Okay.
And that ruined my day. Even though I didn't know about him, something felt off in the air. No, he says he traces it back to Britt Baker's celebration in the ring at Daly's Place.
Oh, wow.
He says it had something to do with the hamburger tray. Like, I was a little irate, okay? I was not the champion. I got a little upset. I might have thrown some hamburgers.
Uh-huh.
I might have got yelled at by Mark Henry and Paul White. Most terrifying moment of my life.
Why'd they yell at you?
Because I wasted
Oh.
hamburgers.
Fair enough.
And they wanted them.
Yeah.
But so he traces it back to that, and ever since then we kind of
Just
been-
button heads.
been button heads.
Just never meant to be friends. Just pure enemies.
yeah.
I mean, that's a real commitment.
Hate on another level.
Because you got to keep that on for 2 weeks.
Serp sucks.
Serp sucks.
Serp sucks.
Take that. Have you ever deep fried a hamburger?
Oh, Renee.
Something to think about.
What
Something
have
to think
you
about.
just done?
Listen, once you start getting into all those gas station foods,
It's summer
I
fair
guess a burger
season.
is not really that.
You know
but-
what? That's gonna be my next stream. We'll deep fry a burger. We'll deep fry a salad.
Ugh.
What Chi-Chi's used to do the ice cream. I don't even know how you would do
I
that.
don't know
but
how you do that either. I've always been very confused by that.
I'm either going to have a delicious dessert or no house by the end of the stream.
Honestly, frying things is the most stressful thing of all time. It's very scary.
It's frightening.
Don't burn that bitch up.
I will no.
Don't throw your phone in there.
Yes.